Testing, checking out my setup. Okay, I'm live. There's nobody here yet. Oh, Marvin Huff is here. Hi, you're first. You get to say first. How are you? Were you listening in? Were you on Mandy's program? I was trying to listen to her and simultaneously running around trying to get ready for this and at least put some options on the table, so to speak, right? So we can do whatever we feel like doing. I wanted to be able to do that. Well, first, yes, you're doing good. Hey, David, how are you? Chilly in Florida. Karen, hey, Karen. Oh my gosh, you and me need to talk. We gotta get together. I want to understand about your daughter and this archaeology. Mandy, not worthy. You did a great job, Mandy. I had it on and I listened and I was also running around trying to get ready. So I'm gonna go back and watch it. But you did a great job, and it was just a real pleasure, and seeing all the, oh my gosh, hey, all things country. Anyway, I was complimenting Mandy on what a great job that she did. So hey, this is great. Hey, Wheezing Geezer TV, hey ya. Okay, this is gonna be fun. A while back, Flash in Your Pan said, hey, why don't we do a collaboration on archaeology, right? And I said, sure, and that'll be fun, and I'm gonna set that up. We're going to schedule that. We haven't yet. But in my mind, I wasn't sure what to do with this time slot. So my plan A was to pan some super high grade pay dirt from Croissant. But what I keep hearing, hey, gentleman prospector, there's 2 live streams posted. Well, this is the right one. Oh, I think I tried to do it on Zoom. That might be what it is, so ignore. I have 2 lives. Well, I probably thought I didn't do something right, so I did it again. Okay. I have 2 lives. Oh, wait, I like that. I have to decide what I'm going to do with that one. Okay. So I have panning that's available. But what I heard Ed say last night when, he was kind of talking about the big picture of what was going to happen and who was doing what, he mentioned he really hopes that I talk about archaeology. And so I thought, well, that's good, because I like to do that. So I'm also kind of set to do that. And I'm going to ask you guys, you're the ones that are here, right? Would you rather see panning of pretty good pay dirt, or go through some artifacts and talk about archaeology, or both? Hi, Stephen. Mama Bird. Oh, thank you, gentleman prospector. Until about a half an hour ago, I was sure I was going to be doing this through Zoom, and that is not the case. Well, hello, Zeta Fortnite Kid. Hi, Mr. Lodak. How are you? Nice to have you here. Bent Fork. Yes, this is the right one, and that means you win because you found it. That's good. So Both. Archaeology first. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to I don't have any moderators set up. I just realized. Is there a way I can do that? I can get it over here on my laptop. So, anywho, just click on your names on the screen. I think I need a mod. Okay, let me just pull this up. YouTube. Okay, I'm clicking on names. Add as moderator. Or okay, thank you, Bent Fork, for telling me what to do. And because of that, guess what? You're a moderator, and I put Mama Bird and Gentleman Prospector because those were the names that were right there on my screen over here. Okay, so we're going to start out talking about archaeology. By popular request, Mama Bird said, let's start with that. Hey, Hobo Rob, how are you? Bent Fork, that was really cool today to see you out in the stream. I watched that, and I really enjoyed that. And so I just don't know how you were able to handle the cold, but hats off to you. Okay, so archaeology. So basically, what is it, right? And it's the study basically of objects and things that have been created by humans over the course of time, right? And so because you just really only have certain things to deal with, and so the whole science of archaeology really started with, hey, what is this? It looks cool. And some of it was just collecting of things that were interested in it, even as far back as the Neanderthals. They collected fossils and kept collections of fossils. So fossils and things that were cool to look at have been around a long time. And it was only with the advent of modern humans, which started in this capacity about 40,000 years ago, and 50,000 years ago, and then they began, dispersing to different areas, and over time learned how to make tools, right? And one of the things that they made a lot of once they figured it out was ceramics. And ceramics and bones and rocks stand the test of time. So a lot of the things that we're dealing with are in that category. So just basically, big picture, and this is just what the data shows, that the kind of human emergence of human, and there were more than one versions in addition to the one we are. Neanderthal is one, and there are several others that are in different areas, but Neanderthal, they were around for 400,000 years, and they did very well. And until about 40,000 years ago, when modern human came along, it really, in a very short amount of time, all of the Neanderthals basically died out. And there's a lot of curiosity as to why that happened, but the modern human succession of that is what happened. And so a lot of what we're finding is that, you know, where we think of archaeology, we kind of start with the things that are closest to the surface, and the deeper you go, the farther back you get, right? So the first humans, modern humans, reached the Americas around, I'm looking at, I had made some notes, between 15 and 20,000 years ago. And there were some that crossed the Bering Bridge, but there's so much new research that's going on that shows that during the Ice Age, there's sort of like, there had been a thought of that people had to go through a corridor in the ice to get to, you know, North America. Well, or why? How about they get in things and they go by the shoreline, and that was probably the fastest way to get there. Just as a kind of fast forward, what are the oldest artifacts that have been found in archaeological digs in North America? Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so one of the first things that became a kind of a standard in the North American archaeology was called the Clovis culture, based on Clovis points. And they're stone spear points that are very distinctive looking. And that was right, the Clovis people. And then there were people that thought Clovis was it, the beginning. And it turns out there's an entire category of pre-Clovis people. And the pre-Clovis, and how you know that is they have different kind of arrowheads, so to speak, right? And about 14,500 years ago, there's evidence of pre-Clovis people in Monteverde, Chile. 15,500 years ago, there's evidence they had stone tools in Buttermilk Creek, Texas. And then 24,000 years ago, they found bones that had cut marks on them in Bluefish Caves in Canada, 24,000 years ago. So, you know, every time you think you know what the limits are and what it is that you're trying to work out, the more it kind of expands in the term of what the finds are going to be. Okay, I'm going to show you some stuff that, and I just want to say that some of the key dates and things that I want to talk about just briefly is the key things that you look for in archaeology are stone tools, ceramics, and the earliest pottery started around 4,500 years ago in the Amazon basin, of all things. And the stone tools about 13,000 years ago. Agriculture, where in Mesoamerica, the corn and maize domestication happened about 9,000 years ago. And then the kind of civilization started to be uncovered. And one of the earliest ones was called the Olmec people. And they're known for having these giant, colossal head statues that are just, you know, and there's really been nothing else like them. And the Maya started around 2000 BC through the 16th century. In other words, they were going really strong until contact with the European explorers and therefore smallpox, etc. And they rapidly disappeared. But those cultures were much bigger than I ever thought. Much bigger. Maya, you know, there's a picture on my page that shows me on top of a pyramid that's a Mayan pyramid that's in Chichen Itza. And I'm up at the top of the pyramid sitting down because I was terrified to stand up, and my dad's just standing there. And it was a long time ago, but I kind of thought that was it, that wow, I'd heard of that. And then we heard there was another pyramid in Uxmal, and that was a little bit farther up the Yucatan Peninsula. And so we went to that, and they had completely different looking pyramids and buildings, but they were spectacular. And it turns out they were from slightly different phases of the Mayan culture. Now with LiDAR, which I know you've seen things where they have, here's the blanket of a jungle and it's all green, and then they use LiDAR and all of a sudden you can see what's on the ground, and there's hundreds, thousands of pyramids, buildings, things like that they didn't know were there. And that's what it's been like with the Maya. And now also in the Amazon, they're pretty astonished at the scope and scale of what was accomplished by the Maya and their incredible mathematic skills, astronomical. Anyway, so it's just an endless supply of really cool things, right? Okay, so now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna take a look at some of these things, okay? I'm gonna talk you through some of my collection as it kind of relates to, I'm gonna do it this other way. I'm gonna do it this way so I can zoom in better. You guys are upside down. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm gonna start, I put some things out because I wanted to make some clear, differentiation. So this is actually the first fossil that I ever got, and I was 5 years old, and I was in kindergarten, and a science teacher at my elementary school was a friend of my dad's, and he gave me this fossil, and that kind of triggered a lot to me. That was the fascination. I've had this for a long, long time. It's been around so long, obviously, but it was the first glimpse that I had into what possibilities were. Much later, I was able to actually acquire this incredible fossil of that fish, and I wish I could tell you which one it is, but I can't. And where's I have one other. Well, let's say not. Oh, I know. And then transitioning into, another corner of what you find when you start digging around in the ground and noticing what's happening. This is the first gem I ever found, and it's a beautiful garnet that's, in specimen, and it was on Wrangel Island in Canada. And I just picked it up and just put it in my pocket. So I thought that was cool. So here are the things that I love, these things, and I told you just now basically everything I know about them. So now I'm going to go to man-made things that are more in the realm of archaeology. And I don't have, well, wait a minute. I want you to see right over here, there's a box. And you can see that box, and it's got like tissue, like Christmas, wrapping paper in it. Okay, so you know who I am. That box, I individually wrapped broken pottery shards every time that we moved, and each one of those has probably 5 or 6 in it, And I have maybe 5 or 6 of those bins. So I have to be very selective about what I take out and look at. I wish I didn't. I need an entire room for this. That's not going to happen. Okay, starting with these, I want to show these. These are Paleolithic points, and these are all from the Scandinavia area, and they're around 15,000, 12 to 15,000 years old. I purchased them from a collector in Denmark, and but I just thought it was a beautiful collection of different kinds of, like this is a scraper. Wait a minute. I can tell by feeling something. Okay, this. Yeah, okay. This is a scraper that I found. And I just put it in with that, but I found this and I knew it's a scraper because when you hold it, it's completely designed to be held the way that it is. It's so cool, right? But the rest are these other kinds of points with different kinds of flint in them. And so I have scrapers and points. So those are some of the examples. And this is a replica, arrowhead. And it's beautiful, but it's a replica. And these other ones were found in the ground. So at some point, I made the leap into ceramics. And so I have a kind of an assortment of ceramics that I want to show, because the interesting thing to me about ceramics is they're made locally. And they're made with the materials that are available. Over time, they were made more locally. Different locations began to be known for the quality of the what they would use to make the clay to bake it, and some were more successful at it than others, and some of it was meant for day-to-day use. Some of it was even meant, in some cases, to be just decorative, right? And but some of them were also meant to be buried as funerary wear, and with their loved ones, they would bury sometimes ceramics. So I'm going to start with these over here, and this one is the largest one that I have, and this is ancient Florida, and it's from the St. John's River time and place. And the St. John's River stamp, that has a check stamp on it, and I don't know if you can see the pattern on there, but it's very faint. So this was in the water. It was buried for a long time, and it's kind of a grit wear. It's not a fine clay, but it's just very, very gritty. So that's a big one. In these cases, what you'll see are the gorgets. These are examples of when they would drill a hole in it and wear it, And so the gorgets was just something that they, drilled holes in. And in this one, you can see had two different finishes to it. And I'm not sure, this must have been the external side, but it feels rounded the other way. But these are so worn. You can see the check stamp on there. They've been through, they're time-wise, these are about, they could be as old as 900 BC. They could be. 900 AD, excuse me, not BC. Not in Florida. And then you can see here, there's also what they would do. This was very primitive, but you can see like stripes on it. So they would like wrap it. They would make strings or a cord and put the wet clay and then wrap it around and around, and it would leave the stripes like that. And so they did something like that. Sometimes they would decorate it with by using a tool like this one. This is my fanciest piece of St. John ware. And you can see that they did little holes in it. So they used different things to carve out patterns with it. So this is like, as time went by, they started to realize they could, make it look nice. And they could also make things that were usable, and you can clearly tell that this was something that this is the base, and that it came up like that. So it was a container, an urn of some kind. Okay. So these are other very old Florida, same. Okay, now I'm gonna jump way over here to, well, wait, before I do that, let me talk about these figures back here. Okay, so these are replicas. These are not real. I would be in jail if they were real. And my friends in the Maya Institute of Maya Studies wouldn't be my friends anymore. They're not. I bought them when I was up there on that pyramid on that trip. Bought them in Merida, as a matter of fact. So what you see here is these are Mayan. They made so many of these different figures that represented different gods that they had, or different things that they were trying to represent. And what's interesting is the way that you can see, the way that he's sitting, the breastplate here that was made out of probably copper, and jade was the most valuable thing to the Mayans. And then these ear spools, they would pierce their ears and have ear spools. And you can see also, this was designed as a way to carry things. And so that's just it was a symbol, and that I really liked. This is the god Chakmul. It's the god of rain. And there are really big ones of these, and I have pictures of me, of course, sitting on it. And but it had more of an altar than this particular one, and the one that I sat in Chichen Itza. I probably sat in too. But the rain god was super important to the Maya. Okay. Okay, what am I? Okay, so I'm missing everything that's being said, by the way. So if you want me to pan dirt, just tell me. Were the Egyptians in the Grand Canyon? There is no evidence that the Egyptians were in the Grand Canyon. The Egyptians, being in Egypt, I think I showed this once before, but not at the group. So what you see here is this envelope. This is like my most precious possession, by the way. And it's the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. And back in the day, my mother was up there visiting, and she went to the Met. And in their store, they sold surplus originals from the Egyptian collection. They had so much Egyptian stuff. They literally sold it in their gift shop. My mother, said, whoa, that's pretty cool. So I'll take that. And so she gave it to me. Wonder why. And it also on the back, it says I think that's a Q, Kislet. So that's the name of the site that it was recovered. And so what is it? Oh my gosh, I can't even handle this. But I'm gonna literally handle it. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put it on the paper so you can see it better. This is a wooden comb. It's actually wood, and it's a comb. And it came out of that dig. And they just had so many pieces of wooden combs that they sold them. And I'm glad that I have it. And it's just like an amazing thing that I love to stare at. And had, I mean, it's just, I can't even, I get nervous when I hold it, I'm shaking. So let me put it back in. But I did want to show you. And then, I don't know where I got this, but this is how I keep it. And I keep it in a display cabinet, and I only show people that I really, really like. How about that? Okay, now we're going to talk about pottery. Roman pottery is like everywhere, not everywhere, but all darn near everywhere in the world. And there's different kinds of Roman pottery, right? So they had all different kinds of pottery for different reasons. It was called coarse. So I have, by the way, everything I'm going to tell you about, I have in there somewhere. Courseware, which is just everyday household pottery for cooking and storage. The amphorae, which were the large vessels that they used to transport oil and wine. And whiteware, they used that for kind of special uses like grinding, like the grinding grain or grinding things up. They used the whiteware for that. Blackware was just dark pottery for just regular, general use. And so that was made out of darker things. But then comes Samian ware. And Samian ware is fine red slip pottery, and it's often decorated. And the story behind Samian ware is really amazing. So let me explain. Look at this. Look at the figures on there. Now, what you're seeing is Roman, and these are, Roman gods and Roman different images. Let me see. I have so many different images on them, and I just only put out a few. Well, this is definitely the biggest intact piece that I have. And you can see the beauty of this bowl, and it was constructed. And look, you can see how it was made, and it's also been repaired at some point. But they made them, and manufactured them, and sometimes they would put a stamp on it to identify who made it and who was the designer. So that actually happened. Now, the Roman army wandered all over the place. And, when you're an army and you're going, say, you just landed in Great Britain, what's now Great Britain, and you marching across, and you're living in what's now London. Well, the head people, the generals, so to speak, they traveled quite well, and they didn't carry heavy plates with them, right? So most of the time, the army was making pottery when they got to where they were going. And sometimes they would bring the materials and find a way to use what they had available. And but what they did was different pottery makers were often slaves from Africa. And they were really treasured for their artistry and their ability to make pottery. And so, they were well treated and brought along, if you call it well treated, to make pottery for the Roman army as they went through all across Europe, the entire Roman Empire. And the Samian ware, they imported the clay from France. And the clay and the way and the material it's made from, they found in France, and they loved it so much that all Samian ware is made from that. And so I began collecting Samian ware. And these are just pieces to me that have character and just show, the different shapes of what the different vessels were. And I don't think I have two pieces from maybe I do. I never really cared. I like to pick up each one and look at it. Maybe now that I'm retired, I have so much more time on my hands. Why is that not true? Okay. So I just wanted to share that the Samian ware is basically everywhere. And what I found is that there are I'm going to flip around here for a minute. Entire books on Samian ware of Great Britain, right? And with all the designs, and it's so well documented, they can tell basically everything about that. So now I know, I can't help it. I just start talking. I'm gonna see what we're saying in the chat here, and I probably can read it better if I move over here because I can see it better on the laptop. Let's see, okay. Do you have any questions or comments or well, I mean, there's a lot of comments in there, and thank you. So yeah, there's definitely a hidden story behind that comb. Everything over there, there's a story to it, right? And that's the fun. And there's kind of a saying in archaeology where if you don't really know what something was used for, and you're guessing basically, there's certain things you know what they are and you've seen them before, but there are many things that you haven't. And so that is when they call them. It must be for a ritual, and the ritual is a code word for I have no idea what it is. So there's always that. So remember that if you ever want to talk to an archaeologist and they say it was probably for a ritual, you'll be like, I already know about that. Okay. So those are the things that I put out, and it is like 1/100th of what I have, but you don't want to see all that. And I would have to do that in a whole different time. So can we just talk and I'll have a drink of water? See what's going on? Want to see me drink water? Oh, I'm behind. The chat's behind. For the longest time, you thought my TV was wrapped in tape. You put your glasses on. I'm gonna go get it. I'll bring you that right now. This is what Mama Bird is asking about. So this was in the gravel on the outside bend of the Etowah River when we were staying up there doing some gold prospecting. And, it looked like a tusk or it looked like wood, and I didn't know what. So I reached out to the, a paleontology group and a Georgia fossils group. And the first one and I put it on one, and I asked for who should I talk to for identification. Well, everybody on that channel had an opinion, and it was about 50-50 that it's wood or it's a tusk. And whoever side they were on, they were positive that it was wood or it was a tusk. And they even said the name of what it is. So this is either wood or a tusk. I thought, it was interesting, and it wasn't normal. And it was buried in the water, and it's super hard. And they said, did you lick it? Because you can tell if you lick it. No. Well, maybe I did, right? But then I thought, well, I can't even tell if what I'm supposed to be determining, I don't even know the answer to that. So I'm sorry, I don't have a definitive answer for you on that. But, when you find stuff, you got to pick it up and look at it, right? Look under it, look around it. And to this day, I have not run the dirt from that trip. It's on my porch. It's a backlog that I have. Okay. Do you want to pan some gold, or you want to talk? Lick fossils, not Cinnabar. Prairie, you're not the first person that told me that. I think it was Scotland, maybe. That he, no, I'm not gonna lick it, that fork. I know it would be awesome, but it's not happening. Yeah. And if I were you, I would be trying to get somebody to do that too. And so I don't hold it against you at all. I would be doing the same thing. So it's nice to be able to talk and be able to interact. So this is something that I get so nervous and into whatever I'm yammering about that I don't stop often enough to say thank you for being here, and hello to you all, and thank you for being here. And I just love the finding you guys as a community. Okay, your son, well, good. In a rock gem fossil store, you have to wear gloves to handle everything. You never really know, right? And there's a lot of things that you handle that later on you find out, well, that was not a good thing. I know when I was a little kid, about the age where I got that first fossil, I remember dropping a thermometer, like an old school, because it was old, thermometer on our tile floor, and all these real cool little silver balls were floating around, and I couldn't pick them up. They were so hard to catch. And I thought I'd be in trouble. So I thought this is probably not good. So I chased them around, and I finally caught them. And then I wrapped them up in toilet paper and flushed them in the toilet. So now they're in somebody's water supply. Pure mercury. And so later on, I learned that was a bad thing. And so I'm never going to do that again. I do have old thermometers, and they're full of mercury, and some of them were from a scientist, and they were oversized. But I just keep them as a oddity, and it's things I won't do, and they're in a nice case, and I keep those too. I collect pretty weird stuff, right? I know. So Mandy, there's so many things that's I'm surprised we're still alive because of X, Y, or Z. And there's a lot of that. I have my sticker board up behind me, and I have not updated it, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be doing a mail call pretty soon, because I am dying to show you what A3 Sky Warrior sent to me. It is very unique, and I'm going to show that to you on a day not today. And from Alaskan Assassin, right? You eat dog food? Wait a minute, Mama Bird. Oh, you tried to fake a fever, and oh man, you win. That way outranks my situation with mercury. That's awesome. Did it go down the tub? Okay. Okay. But anyway, I completely forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the mail call. So Alaskan Assassin. Mary, Autism Magnet, Mary, very, very kindly sent me some stickers, and I just got them, and I know I'm forgetting a big one. And, oh, I know what it is. Megadog, right? I got a picker sticker. My goodness. It was so nice. So I'm going to show you all that. So I just sort of like told you what I was going to do, right? But I do want to show you what I got. And I don't know. I know some of you saw that I had taken a picture. I decided to weigh the big ruby that I found, and I was weighing it because I forgot how many carats it was, and it was 202, I think. But I thought, wait, I should be hitting it with a UV light so you can see it's really a ruby, and it's a monster. And so last night, who is it? Al Gold Prospector. Is it Al? Was it? I don't know him, but he had Bent Fork. You were there. You would know. He's the guy who made the cabbing equipment and things like that. Holy moly! And he had that big ruby, right? That he was excited about, and that he had cut, and it was some kind of star ruby, and he was pretty excited about it. And I was like, I said, do you, and I didn't, it was at the end. Do you cut big rubies? I mean, like, what would that cost? Because I've never even imagined that anybody would know what to do with that thing. And he looked like he does, right? So, I don't know. What do y'all think? He does. Yeah. I think I bought that lapis pizza piece. I got to email him. I want that. I was trying to go to sleep, and he held up this piece of lapis that was like the shape of a pizza slice, and it was absolutely beautiful. And then he put a UV light on it, and magic occurred. Magic occurred with some kind of luminescence in there that was just like, I don't have one like that. And anyway, Ed, what are you talking about? You overslept? Wonder why? Maybe your body needed sleep, right? Hey, yeah, that was my thought too. And anyway, I'm sorry, what I'm reacting to is Bent Fork saying he thinks he cuts faceted stones, doesn't cut faceted stones. So anyway, I was gonna ask Brianna up at Croissant, because she does cut the gems up there, and just get her opinion on it. I'm gonna try that. But it's just not in the top of my priority list, and I forget to bring things when I'm gonna be up there. And I forgot about it until I watched that guy last night. And I was watching him do that thing, and I was like, I would do that never, right? Never. That just, and I even think I saw blood on his hand, which I would have had a lot of within 1 second of polishing whatever he was doing. That just looks like a giant problem to me. But it was very cool, and he made it himself, and that's kind of cool. So anyway, how are we doing? We got 15 minutes left. I'm cool to try to let's pan some gold. I haven't panned any, and I'm watching people pan all the time. And I want to see what's in here. Let's do that. Okay. Wait, I guess I'll do it over here. Okay. So the spaces on my sticker board are where the new stickers are going to go. And that's going to be fun. And then I see Aaron and Careless, they're up next. And their sticker boards, they're like multiple sticker boards. It's like walls of stickers. So I have to remind myself that, you know, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy. I am going to put this through this, it looks like dollar store, but I actually bought it at Chris-On in a package of 6 in different colors. But I have found that there's been some kind of bigger pieces in there of clay. That's not so bad. I can deal with that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go straight to a little baby blue pan. I can do more than that. Okay. I know it looks a little shiny, but I did season it. Okay. Let's see what we got. That was like 1 baby teaspoon off the top here. I have probably done 2 cups worth of this, and I found some very nice chunky gold in it. That was when I first got it a week or so ago, and then I stopped, and I had a special vial set aside for it so that I could keep track of how much gold did I get out of this particular bucket. And I know it's not about ROI, but I would like to have some concept of what I'm finding here, right? I'm really impatient. What I learned with the first couple of cups of stuff is that it looks like a pretty decent representation of flour gold, okay? But the other pieces are much bigger, so it's not like a gradation of, small, medium, and large. It's like flour gold or large. So maybe, and some of the 2 or 3 of them were like pickers in the first teaspoon. So probably they threw them on top. I didn't say that. I thought it. I think about how patiently and carefully wrench pans, and I feel like I'm impatient. And I'm right. I want to find gold, like right now. Okay. Oops. See, I was impatient. Yeah, let me get it back up there. I saw a piece of gold, and it was actually medium size, so I forget what I said earlier. Did I already cover it up? Well, There it is in the middle of the pan. It's right there. I don't know if you can see it. Right there. So, I forgot to put water in the snuffer. Ooh, don't need it that big. And I don't care if I get a little black dirt with it, because then I can do it later. Looks like I saw another little piece. Let me do it again. I'm gonna just speed through this. You know why? Because I'm gonna do it multiple times. And I have not used the little tabletop dream mat with this particular pay dirt yet, but I have that, and then I have the other one that is kind of more of a cleanup sluice with a V mat, and those are all set up, and I was gonna leave them set up forever, and then Thanksgiving I had house guests, and it just wasn't working for me, so I put everything away, and now I'm taking it all back out again until Christmas, and then I'll do that again. You know, maybe what I need is like a greenhouse outside. That's a really good idea, Gail. I mean, I was thinking about it for vegetables anyway. Yep. There it is. You see that? These are the two smallest pieces that I found. And there was some little flower gold that I just sucked up in there that I didn't see. Oh boy, that hole, you know, that's so tricky. It gets my counter every time. All right, one more. I always say one more. Let's put more in it. Live right on the edge. There's still some organics in there. Wow, pay dirt prices in the mines have sure gone up. I got this thing turned around, because I just don't even want to think about it. They have a gallon, they have gallon size pay dirt nugget buckets up by the cash register. And they're, I don't know if they're $450 or $495. I think they're $450. They were only $450. And I was like, I wonder when that was priced. How long those have been there. I mean, I don't think I would buy that. So I'm seeing things. I can't wait to, like, at the end, be able to see the chat. And, but I do want to take an opportunity to thank Ed, Marvin, for he gives credit to someone for starting, the idea and, kind of following that model, but he did it, and I remember he started talking about it. And honestly, folks, at no point did I imagine that I would sign up. I was like, oh, that'll be great. I can't wait to see that. And I cannot remember the exact circumstances, but it really seemed like a good idea at the time. And I'm glad I did. And, but, so thank you for putting this together, Ed. Thank you to Gentleman Prospector and Mama Bird for encouraging me from, oh, look at that. Look at that little gold. It's just like coming out of the dirt to be snuffered up. Look at that. But thank you to Gentleman Prospector and Mama Bird for just really encouraging me and kicking me off on the video thing. I just wasn't never going to do that. But never say never, except for I missed that. I missed the one. I got it. Okay, I'm going to spend the last few minutes talking to you. Okay, here we are. And, well, thank you. I have no idea. I just started. I was very, very nervous about this and trying to think about it a lot. I did think about it a lot. But then I just, I guess once I get going, I just keep talking. And I do love the stuff that I have, and I love you guys for appreciating it and for what you do, which is different. And I'm learning from everybody. And, I just find that, the scope that I have is really kind of grows every day because of other interests. And I have to mention, one of the, I'm not even going to mention names, but there was a late night kind of live with a lot of people on it, and they were mostly men, right? And I'm, I appreciate how people just just let me hang out, right? Because I'm not necessarily in that group. So, but then the conversation turned to cooking and recipes. And I got so excited about that, right? And then, one of them was Buddy Biggs, and he said he was going to make, when he gets a chance, eggplant parmesan. But other people it was before Christmas, Thanksgiving, talking about how they cook turkey, what kind of stuffing they like or don't like, and what kind of pie that they want. And so anyway, it was a surprise to me and a joy to me to hang out and just, learn stuff about people that wasn't actually to do with gold at all. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I think that you have to go to Careless Whispers, and that she and Gold is Where You Find It are going to be together. And so, I'm just reading this. Hi, Scotland and Marvin. This, game on. Let's do it. Cook-off. That I'm signed up for right now. I don't even know when it is, but I'm in. So, so thank you all for being here, and be sure to go straight to Careless Whispers and say hello to them and Aaron, because I'm going to be there with you pretty shortly. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I enjoyed. Thanks for sharing this in my kitchen. And oh, that's right, Aqua Donkey is prospecting with them. Oh my gosh. Gentlemen, thank you. Mandy's Candy, Mama Bird, Martin, thank you. I'll see you soon, right? Over and out.